back. We will be here forever. Do you understand?
Hey, it's Shan here. This week I speak with Marley Rae. Marley is a sponsored skateboarder from the Newcastle area of Australia, which is on the east coast of New South Wales. He's a charger, basically. It's the best way to describe him. He's just so exciting to watch when he skates. It's kind of like this real loose, wild, authentic style where it's like, is he going to make that? Is he not going to make that? But you just know that he's going to commit 100% every time. And I think that's why it's so mesmerizing and so exciting to watch. He skates competitively at times, and he talks about that and, you know, his journey with skate competitions and how he feels about it now. Talks about filming video parts, talks about his part in the skate video Memory Box, which is a great movie. I absolutely love that. And we talk about his travels. We talk about, you know, some Belco Bowl Jam stuff. Yeah, just our views on the world. He shares about his educational journey. He's now at university studying and talks about, you know, the trajectory he took to get there is a little bit different, a little bit less traditional than other people, I guess. And all around, just a super positive guy. Like, he was just such a good vibe to be around, and that's what really sort of stood out for me. He's just so excited about life and positive. I think it's just so nice. And we had a really relaxing afternoon. Went and skated his local at Bar Beach Bowl and just hung out for a bit, and then just had a nice casual chat. So I hope you enjoy it. He's a good dude. And as always, doing it for the kids, Clem and Otis. So enjoy.
Tried to hold us back. Get what I'm saying. Tried to hold us. He tried to hold us back. He tried to hold us back. What's the thing?
Child of the crayon, child of the light, styles of the neon belong to a culture destined to rock for eons. Time doesn't exist. Shut those cataracts, capture the virtualist. Now let's get back to what makes things seem forever, whether it's unseen, unheard, or it's 16 again. Not a bother. Fill this old man with a killer floor that gives all.
Bro, I got into skating a way different way. I'll tell you on the podcast.
Okay, tell me now. How'd you get into it?
So I got into skating. Wait, is the podcast? It's the podcast started.
Maybe.
All right. So how I got into skating, there was this cartoon on Nickelodeon that they did reruns on.
Yeah.
So it aired in the 2000s. It was called Rocket Power. And it was just a show. It was like a cartoon about like 4 kids who were into like all different action sports. So like skating, surfing, BMX, inline. And I remember watching that and just being stoked by like all the skating animations. I was like, wow, this is insane. And then that's when I probably started to pick it up and, you know, got like every kid does, like just get a board from like Slimes or like ESS or whatever it's called. And then that's when I started to pick it up and
Christmas complete.
not so much a Christmas complete. It was like a 7 skateboard. There was this like company that did like real cheap skateboarding completes called 7 Skates. And I remember getting the graphic and being so stoked on it, taking it to school, and like all my kids would be like, or all the kids in my year would be like heaps jealous and like off it. They're like, oh, we want that board. It's like, no, it's mine.
No way. How old were you?
I was 11. And a lot of my friends too I went to school with, like they liked skating, but they did more like BMX and like scooter riding and stuff. Like scooters are really big at the town that I grew up in. And I was the only skater in my school. And they, what we used to do, so our school that we went to was in Tyres, and we all lived in Thornton, and then Beresfield's in the middle where the McDonald's was. So we'd all, and that's like a 10-minute drive normally, but like we used to take like an hour to get to school. So what we'd do, we'd obviously like all meet up in the morning, skate over, or like they'd all bike and scoot, and I'd skate as well. And I'd always be so far behind them. We'd go to Macca's in the morning and then we'd go to school.
Right. You know, you're from a different generation to me. How do you honestly feel about scooters? Is it legit to you?
Depends. I've got so much respect for the dudes like that are genuine people. So like most of the dudes that ride scooters, but they're in the streets, they're like hitting rails. I've got respect for all those dudes because they understand the etiquette, because the street etiquette in scooter riding is way similar to like skating. all the park dudes and all the kids coming up, some of them I'm good homies with. Some of them are really genuine. But some people like that I've just seen like at the skate parks and stuff, I'm just like, dude, like you don't have the right attitude for it, you know?
So you don't care that it's scooter riding as long as they're conducting themselves in a polite way and they're just good people.
As long as they as you say, good people and they have like good etiquette, like good skate park etiquette in general, not just like scooter etiquette, like just skate park etiquette in general.
Do you skate parks in Sydney often?
Yeah, every now and then. When I get the chance, when I've got time, I go down there, like 5 Dock and Sydney Park. Sometimes I'll go to Bondi and stay down there with my mates Zane and Ryan.
Dude, I cannot believe what you did in the old 5 Dock Bowl in Memory Screen. Oh, Memory Box. Not
Memory
Screen.
Box, yeah.
Not Memory Screen. Memory Box.
Yeah.
That was fucking insane because I was at 5 Dock Bowl or 5 Dock Skate Park maybe a month ago.
Yep.
And just for old time's sake, I was like, I'm going to check out the old bowl. And it's so rough in the bottom now. And I was just like, this is completely unskateable. And you did like wasn't a frontside deck. What was it?
Frontside sugarcane.
Sugarcane.
So it's like frontside like 270 to like fakey backsmith.
Like it looks gnarly in the video, but if you've never been to 5 Dock and seen that thing, you can't really appreciate how gnarly that was.
That was hard.
How many tries?
It took a little over like 40 minutes. So how I got that trick or how I did that trick, me and my friend Will, there was this event that UPS was putting on for Go Skateboarding Day, and we're staying at our friend Sam Fairweather's house. So I was like to Will, let's go down on the Friday, like the day before the event was on. We'll go get some clips and then we'll enjoy the weekend. So we go to 5 Dock. It was about to like piss down rain.
Yeah.
Film that 5-0 Reva like over the taco first. And then Will's like, yep, you got the sugarcane? I'm like, yeah, dog, like, let's do it. And he was like, he was sitting in the bowl, like filming it. And yeah, good 40-minute battle. Just like committing to it was the hardest part.
Because what I found interesting is like, there's no real coping. And then the edge is super rounded.
You got to find the spots that like properly grind. Because that corner where the corner where everyone thinks is like the most skatable, you can't grind it because it's too round. Like your wheels like ride like over it. It's noping. So that edge where I did the sugarcane, that was like the only spot. That's like the only spot in the whole bowl that you can like properly like get a truck on, you know?
Yeah. Would you say your parents have been supportive of your skateboarding?
They are the best.
Why?
I love them.
Why?
They've just let me do my thing. They will never push you at contests. Like they'd obviously like encourage me, you know, they're like, oh, you should do this or like try this or like, you know what, say if I was like just taking the piss to like actually like, you know, like give it a go. But it's never been like, oh, you got to beat this dude at the next contest or like the contest after, you've got to work on this trick. They're like, do whatever you want, man.
Really?
Like mum was always like, Marley, like you skate the best. Like when you're just doing your thing, you know, she always told me like skate every contest like it's a Sunday morning at Bar Beach.
They didn't get like Olympic dreams.
Hell no.
Yes.
Hell no. They were like super supportive in my decision to like, you know, go for it. They're like, yeah, this is so sick. Like give it all you got. And if you don't make it, like whatever. And then like, I'm not continuing this campaign for Paris. And they were like, Marley, do you like really want to go to Paris? And I'm like, not really, you know, like I can't afford it. And you know, it's like, I way rather like save up my money and go on like a huge trip, like overseas, you know, and like obviously skate, but like see the world too.
Yeah. Did you actually go in some competitions for Paris?
So I skated the World Championships. Skated the World Championships in Dubai in February, and that was a crazy experience. Like first of all, like seeing Dubai, like it's a city or like a country I'd never thought I'd ever go to, you know. My parents have been there before I went there. Like, dude, you got to check it out. It's so sick.
How'd you deal with the heat? It was gnarly.
February, it's springtime. So it was like mid-20s. It got so cold at night. And I didn't bring a jumper. Like I was stupid enough to not bring a jumper to Dubai. So like nighttime, I'd be like just bone cold.
Really?
Yeah. I had to borrow one of Kieran's jumpers. I'm like, because I roomed with Kieran on that trip for that contest. And I'm like, dude, you got to let me borrow a jumper, eh? And he's like, yeah, all right.
So just full desert vibe? Like really like hot in the day, cold at night sort of thing.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, Dubai and so the contest was in Sharjah, which is like 40 minutes out of Dubai. It's like a completely separate emirate. Not so much like huge desert vibes. You got to go like an hour inland to like really see like the desert. You know, like go on the camels and stuff. But yeah, it's such a different culture.
Man, I've never been there. I'm interested.
It's amazing. I was talking to Dad about the exchange rate today. When I went over, it's like 30 cents to $1. So we're getting like these crazy meals in Dubai for like $7 or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's okay. So it's pretty affordable.
It's so affordable.
Interesting. Because like I know there's like some of the wealthiest people in the world live there as well.
Yeah.
So do you see those people around?
We saw some like insane cars and like we saw a few rich people. So the day before the men's qualifying event was on, we had like all the men's skaters had like an off day. Mark Woolley, Phoenix Sinnerton, Adam Sinnerton, Daniel Woolley, Denny Campbell was there too. And myself, we're like, oh, let's like just go into Dubai for a day and, you know, like see what it's about. Cause none of us have like ever spent the full day in there. Mm-hmm. So we all got a cab into there. We got dropped off at the Burj Khalifa, like the world's tallest building, right? But we got dropped off at the wing where the Armani hotel is. So Giorgio Armani, who like the suit company, opened the hotel there. And 7 of us Aussies like get out of the cab and we're so out of place. There's like all these like fancy cars. Like I got a few photos with the car. I made like an Instagram post, like just taking the piss. Like, yeah, these are my new rides, you know. And this Secco came up. He's like, dude, this is private property. Like you can't be here. So we got kicked out and then we just ended up just exploring Dubai for the whole day. We went to the world's largest mall.
Were you skating or just cruising?
We were on skateboards, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like there was this big hill out the front of the Burj Khalifa, bombed it, like nearly took out some like local tourists and there were heaps off it, but you know, it is what it is.
Dude, that's so interesting. Speaking of skate comps, like I got a memory of you a few years ago. I was at the Belco Bowl Jam.
Yeah.
And like just watching you rip the bowl all day. Kieran got King of the Bowl that year again.
Gets it every year. So good.
Yeah. And it was that year he did that like crazy 5-0 to revert out. 5-0 to fade. Oh, yeah. Do you remember that? It's like the longest grind.
Yeah. It's the Smith. Was it 5-0? Smith 5-0?
Smith 5-0 to revert.
And he did like 20 tiles or something. It was
so it wasn't just 5-0. He started in Smith, didn't he? Fucking insane. But anyway, and I'm watching the bowl day and then I was like, oh, I need a break. I'm just going to go cruise around the street course. Next thing I know, dude, there's like 1,000 people trying to kill this one dude, like literally. And Cons was like literally trying to save this kid's life. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, what the fuck happened? And they're like, oh, apparently he punched Marley in the bowl during the comp. So, man, tell us the story.
All right. So it was like towards the end of the contest. They were doing, so you know how they had the extension they set up over the channel? I was like just dropping in, like going to suss it out. And as I was like going up for like my setup trick, just a frontside grind, I didn't know that this random dude, he's like this Canberra local. I don't know a whole lot about him, but he just rolled in without looking. So I was on frontside 5-0, like on the coping. And as I go down, as I like go off the coping to go back in the bowl, he's coming up in my direction. And we just collide. We fall, like both of us get tanked. Like I got a concussion and stuff. And then I wake up. I'm like, dude, are you okay? And then what he does, he gets up straight away. He like flips me over and he's like standing over me. And I'm like, dude, are you all right? Like, I'm so sorry. Like I was still super dazed because I just like got a gnarly concussion.
Because you were face down and he flipped you over to you on your front.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he stands over me. He's just swearing at me. He's like, oh, like, you're a fucking dog cunt. Like, sorry for like the profanity. He's like, oh, you're a dog cunt. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm sorry. And then he kicks me. What? He kicks me in the head. Like, luckily I had my helmet on. It wasn't like a hard kick, but it was just like, you know, like a warm-up kick. Like, just like, oh, like, you don't know what's coming, you know?
Wow.
And then, yeah, before you know it, I must have like passed out again for a bit because like I just remember waking up. It was like a while ago now, so I don't remember like
3 years ago, I think.
2 or 3 years ago. All of a sudden I like wake up as soon like as soon as I wake up, Steven Pinero's in there and just punches this dude in the bowl. And I was like, holy
So
shit.
he jumped in the bowl.
Jumped in the bowl, like punched this dude, and then like a bunch of people got in. Like when I watch the old recordings, I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. And I'm just like, you can just see me in the corner of the bowl, just like, oh fuck.
Like just recovering from a head
Just
injury.
recovering, yeah. And then
And then it just got wild, man.
It just got
'cause I seen
wild.
the aftermath and it was like, yeah, man, like it was like full mob mentality. Like,
yeah, you got chased out of the skate park.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
anyway, it's an interesting story.
Mm.
Have you ever had anything like that?
Nah, never. Like, I was just, I didn't realize like how many people like had my back, you know, because I saw how many people were in the bowl and how many people were trying to get this dude out. I'm like, man, I love skateboarding. Like, everyone's down for each other.
Dude, everyone loves you, man. And I was thinking about like, because like I've had a bunch of people say to me, "Oh, you got to get Marley Rae on." I'm like, cool, yeah, like I like how he skates. And they're like, "No, but he's just a really good dude." And I was watching your part in that Newcastle movie, Memory Box, which I loved, and there was something about you that kind of was Cardiel reminding of to me, because like it was like you're good, but in some ways just hanging on by a thread.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mean that as a sincere compliment. Yeah. It's like it's not just talent. It's like sheer just passion, determination, and it's like I'm going to stick this no matter what.
Yeah.
And I even seen it today when I was skating at the bowl. I was like, no way. Have you heard that before?
I've gotten a few like compliments like that. A lot of my friends are just like, "Oh, you're just a sketchy skater," and I'm just like, "Yeah, like I know," but you know, in my opinion, like I way rather watch skating where there's like personality. It's not so much like just landing something bolts. Like that's cool, but like where's the flavor? Like you watch someone like even like I think of guys like Nick Pisario. He's going 100 miles an hour doing a massive ollie or like a long slappy, barely hanging on by a thread. Like that shit is mad.
Mad. Have you seen his recent part that Israel Brinston
Loved
filmed?
it.
Shout out to Israel. By
Loved
the way.
it.
Such a
Izzy's the
legend.
man.
He is. And I mean, that clip that went viral where he did that escalator bomb
Yep.
to hippie jump through the turnstile.
Yeah, it was so
But then his
insane.
like board was sliding sideways as he jumped.
Just made it, but
you see
made it
that?
look so sick. I saw it. It blew up. Like people were reposting it everywhere.
But I'm with you, man. Like I'd rather see something like that. And I think it's like it's authentic.
Yeah, it's
like
real skate.
It's authenticity.
It sounds kooky, but it's just from the heart. Like it's just
yeah.
it's just raw, like passionate skateboarding.
Nice. Who are some skaters that you really look up to, or whether they're from around the world or Australian?
There's so many. Like
Standouts though.
Ronnie Sandoval is a really good one. Love like the way he skates bowls in transition. Peter Hewitt, Navarrete.
Peter Hewitt.
Tapped into
Old,
some like
dude. How do you're down with the older crew?
yeah, love it. And then like tapped into sort of taking inspiration or like just looking up to like some of the newer guys like Sean Pablo. I really like the way he skates.
Okay.
Even though he's like a street skater, like just love the way he looks on a board. Obviously Nick Pisario, Corey Juno was always a big influence for me too. Like growing up, he was love his front boards like around corners and stuff.
What about Newcastle guys?
Newcastle crew. Dude, like all my friends, like my friend Dannon, Rowan's such an insane skater. Love watching him. Jed McKenzie, George Richards, like just all the homies.
I must admit, when I seen Jed's cover shot on Slam, and I can just tell, and I've heard he's just a really nice guy, I was just like so cheering for him. But you've skated Pizzy Bowl.
Yeah, that thing's fucked
And
up.
again, like until you see that hip, like that frontside kickflip was insane.
Dude, I've seen the footage. It's not out yet, but it's insane. The way he does
you've seen it, have
I've
you?
seen the clip.
Oh, okay.
It's psycho.
Is
It's the most insane clip ever.
he about to put a part out?
No, he dropped an indie part. He's got some footage coming out soon. Not too sure what it's going to be for, but there's going to be like a few little sections of him popping up every now and then. It'll be really exciting to see. I haven't seen all of his clips, but I've seen that frontside flip.
Yeah. Another thing I'm interested to ask you is like, you know, it's very obvious that, you know, transitions are a big part of your skating, but obviously you're in the streets as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're someone that can actually blend the two quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a conscious decision? Because you did start in trannies and bowls.
Kind of like as I got older, I'm like, I really need to broaden my skating. I just can't stick to skating, Bar Beach skate park like every day. So I'm just thinking, man, like I'm obviously not going to grind a 20-stair rail or like however long those fucking things are getting grinded nowadays. Like I just try to think of stuff that like is appealing. So like a lot of like the trend now is like skating a bunch of banks and walls and like hills and stuff. And like that shit is so exciting. So I always try to find the things that like I'm good at and then put like my spin on it.
Yeah.
Like we're getting clips and stuff.
What about like, I could see you doing like being a hill bomb guy. I can see you like doing something like go to SF and like wallying something to hill bomb. That seems like your
That's a
vibe.
dream. That's a dream.
Just find something gnarly to wally straight into like a gnarly hill bomb.
One day. One day I'll get there. SF's amazing.
Have you been there?
I've been there on a family holiday.
Okay.
And that was when I was 15. That's before like I sort of got the culture of like, like actual like legit street skating. So like going there, I'm like, dude, this is so sick.
So sick.
And then as I got older, I realized like, damn, like SF has an insane skate scene. So next time I go, definitely stopping in the SF.
For sure.
Yeah, didn't get to go, kept it like LA, San Diego on the last trip, but for the next trip.
For skating or family holiday as well?
So I've been twice now. First time was like a family holiday, like little skate trip. And then the second time was like a full skate trip with Skate Australia and like all the Olympic crew. So like Bo Mitchell was like the dude on it. We had Jet DeHaan with us and like Liv Lovelace, Ash Wilkins as well. There was like a small crew. We went over to the States for 2 weeks. Right. It was the best time.
So like that's mainly the only overseas skateboarding you've done is 4 competitions?
Yeah, 4 competitions or something related to a contest.
Yeah. Hey, how did your sponsor with Creature come about? Because that's a good sponsor for you.
So how that happened, so there was this guy at Charlestown Skate Park. His name's Jeff. I haven't seen him for years, but he's like just someone who loves skating. He used to get all the Creature and like NHS stuff wholesale through Lush Productions.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, dude, do you have a board sponsor?" And I'm like, "No, I don't at all." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Like, let me chat to Nick Callieri and see if there's like anything they can do for you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, see how it happens." Didn't really think anything of it. And then one night, like maybe 3 weeks later, I get a phone call. This is when I was like 17, so like 2020. He calls me. He's like, "Dude, like Wade McLaughlin, who just became the TM at Lush Productions at the time. He's like, oh, like, Wade McLaughlin hit me back and Nick Callieri as well. Like, they're keen to like give you some boards." I'm like, okay, like that's sick. Like, I'm keen. So waited a little while and then got an email from Wade, like shout out Wade Os, like he's the man, best dude ever. Same with Nick Callieri too. He's like, yeah, man, like got to wait a few months, but like once, because this is during COVID, so like supplies were low, we'll wait a little bit, and then once things start winding down with COVID, like we'll send you a box. And then come October, like right before my 18th birthday, got this Creature box in my house, and I was like, holy shit. Like I was so stoked. And then since then, just been, getting boards from Wade Os and like going skating with him a bunch. Like he's a good dude.
Are you sponsored by Cons as well?
No, I'm not on Cons. Don't have a shoe sponsor.
But you just look like Cons are your shoes, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's all you're skating?
They're just good to skate in. Like for a while, I was skating Vans, and then I don't know, I tried a pair of Cons one day, and I'm like, okay, like this is a really good shoe, like the Chuck Taylor especially. And then try a pair of Vans again. They just didn't work on my feet. I'm like, I'm going back to Cons, and since then I've just been running all the Converses. They're such good shoes to skate in.
I've got my first ever pair of Cons. I think I had Chuck Taylors when I was a kid, but it was more just to go to school in. But yeah, like I got the Lopez mid-tops, Louis Lopez mid-tops. But I've been skating like half cabs, Van half cabs for like, oh my God, 25 years. So it's like, it was a big decision for me, but I don't know. I might be going back to half cabs.
It's a good shoe.
Don't you work at the Vans shop though?
I do work at the Vans shop.
So what? You could probably get cheap shoes if you wanted.
Cheap shoes if I want. I've bought a pair to go to work in. I mean, bought a pair of old schools to go to work in. Like, great place to work. But yeah, I don't know. Like wearing the Vans, it's all right. But skating, it's like I don't know. I like the feel of Converse.
Yeah, like they're pretty thin in the sole. You like that board feel?
Heaps of board feel.
Yeah. So you got a part-time job.
Yep.
Like, what else do you do with yourself?
Go to uni, part-time uni student.
Hey, you're such a good kid. I shouldn't call you a kid because you're not really a kid.
21.
That was my next question. I don't know how old I am. You're not a kid.
21's still young.
You're not a kid. That's a good age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you study at uni?
So I'm doing a Bachelor of Communications. Just finished my first semester. Only starting part-time to like slowly chip away at it because I still want to still want time to like skate and stuff and still like enjoy my younger years while I can. Like obviously go out skating all the time and like work and save some money and then just do the uni stuff on the side and just slowly chip away at it. I'm doing a journalism major, which I'm keen to like
we were talking about that.
Really get into. As in like I did 2 journalism subjects like last semester, but I think next semester when it starts back in February, I'll pick up some like actual like writing courses and stuff and like properly like get into it.
Do you use ChatGPT to write your assignments?
Hell no. All my stuff's authentic.
Well, it's because what are the unis like now with that stuff? Do they talk about it when they give out assessments?
I haven't really heard too much from the lecturers and the tutors.
Yeah.
A bunch of my friends who go to uni, like say they forget about an assessment and it's due date. They're like, oh my God, I need to do something. Just pump it into ChatGPT and it just gives them like this 5,000 word essay with references and like the whole shebang. And then they just submit it.
It's crazy. But I heard there's like the unis and stuff have software that can detect it so they can tell if someone has actually done that.
Yeah, so there is a software called Turn It In. It's mainly for like bridging course students. So like there was a program I did before I started undergrad called Open Foundation.
What's that?
So it's mainly for students who haven't completed the HSC. So like I left school at the end of year 10.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So left at the end of 2018.
Why?
Just got over it.
Fair enough.
I was like, school's not for me. And I went to TAFE for a year, like the year after that. Don't mean to get off topic, but like went to TAFE for a year. Did outdoor recreation. So it's such a good course.
That's so sick.
And then that was 2019. 2020 took a year off. Just like chilled at home, like waited to stick COVID out. And then 2021 started Open Foundation. And yeah, they have this thing called Turn It In. So it's like you write the essay and then when you submit it, it goes into this program that detects, that sort of compares your paper to all the other papers and see what matches. So you get like a percentage rate. If it's like over 20% match, you'd have to like go back and change it and make sure like it doesn't match the other paper.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Just to check for plagiarism or like people just sharing their work.
Like plagiarism or copywriting.
Wow, I didn't even know that existed. I'm so glad you shared all that story. I think it's really good for people to hear. Like, because I'm always saying this to young people because I'm a school teacher, like I told you. And I keep saying to them, like, you know, high school's not the only path to university.
It's not.
You know, and explore, try different things. You know, I mean, I didn't go to uni till I was like 24.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I did. Same thing, travelled for a year.
For sure.
Realised that the world is a tough place, especially to earn a living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. Fuck.
Well, why do you think you went for commerce though?
For communications, I don't know.
Oh, so it's communications, not
Bachelor
commerce.
of Communications.
Commerce. Oh, communications, not
Communications, comms, communications.
Sorry.
I don't know, just like the creative aspect of it, because there's 3 different majors with the Bachelor of Comms. There's journalism, media arts, and I think it's production and media. So there's like, it's like the degree is so broad. You can do so much with it. It's just all like anything to do with media. So whether like you want to be a director for a movie or like direct movies, you want to like write movies or write stories, get into like media production, actually shooting and like producing like stuff for the news or something. Like it's such a broad degree.
And does that excite you, that stuff?
Gets me so keen.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you've got a real creative streak in you?
I think I do. I don't know.
What do you mean you think you do?
Yeah, I think I do.
You got some ideas.
Got some ideas. Sometimes they work out on paper. Sometimes they work out. Sometimes they don't. In whatever it's called, when you actually put them to reality. I don't know.
You said your parents were pretty mellow with your skating, and I guess where you want to go with skateboarding. How mellow were they with you in regards to getting academic qualifications? Or
they told me so because I wanted to drop out of school like before year 10 was finished. They're like, just finish year 10 and then you can go to TAFE. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, so did that, went to TAFE and stuff, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have my gap year now. And then like, all right, cool. Like, have your gap year and then decide what you want to do at the end of your gap year. And then come to the end of like 2020, I'm like to my parents, like, I think I need to go back and like finish year 12 or like do my open foundation so I can get my ATAR to get into uni just in case. And they're like, dude, like, that's insane. Like, please do that. So I did that. And then 2022, I took another gap year, and they're like, all right, fine, take another gap year. Like, do what you want, work, save up some money. And then this year, like, took a year off, and then semester 2 of 2023, I'm like, all right, like, I'm actually going to, like, knuckle down now. And they're like, that's so sick.
And they're stoked.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel ready to, like, actually commit now?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as I've got a balanced lifestyle where I can, like, still do my skating.
Well, I was going to say, do you feel like it's interfering with your skating?
Not really, because when I
Right.
skate, it's like I skate twice as hard. Or like I'm actually, like, when I go skating, I'm like hungry for it,
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, and you feel fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you are skating every day, you get tired. Like, you get tired.
You get really burned out. And like that, like, prime example of that, like I've been burned out before. You need other distractions to go with it.
Yes. You said your mum's a school teacher.
She is.
Dude, what was it like having a school teacher parent?
So
As a little kid.
it was all right. It was pretty normal, but I was a student of her for like a couple months. So when we lived in Thailand, when I was 8 years old, we moved to Thailand for a few years, and me and my sister, we went to this international school that Mum worked at, and for 3 months I was in year 3 for like 6 months, year 4 for 3 months, because the age to like year groups different.
Was it like American calendar?
Yeah, it was American. It was an American calendar. Yeah. I was in like year 3 for 6 months, year 4 for like 3 months, and then did year 5 for like the whole second year that I lived there. For 3 months in year 4, I was a student of my mum.
Oh, yeah.
And by the end of it, I'm like, Mum, I'm keen to go to year 5. And she's like, yeah, I'm keen for you to do that too.
So sweet. Were you in Bangkok?
No, we were in Phuket. It's like the touristy
you?
part. We lived at the bottom at this place called Shillong. So it's like a pretty like Buddhisty town. We rented our small little house there.
Right.
It was rad. We rode like scooters everywhere.
So good. And your parents just wanted to give you that experience.
Pretty much, yeah. They're
Mix it up.
yeah, we'll like, because like our house like back in Thornton, we're like, all right, cool. Like we'll rent it out. We'll go live overseas for a few years. We'll enjoy our time.
Wow, man. Your parents sound cool as.
Yeah, they're the best.
Would you say you got a good relationship with them?
Love them. They're the best. Me and Dad always banter. Same with Mum too.
You know what's kind of rare? Like not everyone has that.
Yeah.
So you realise that's special?
So special.
Oh, man. So good. They must be so proud of you.
Mm.
I think like exposing young people to different cultures at a young age, I think it's so good for their holistic well-being, in my opinion.
For sure.
Just makes them more, open. I think it improves communication skills. And I also think it builds empathy.
Yeah.
Which I think's rad. And I can feel that empathy from you. You seem like that kind of guy. Like even when we were talking to that kid at the skate park today, he was telling us about his major head injury.
Yeah.
I could just see you really cared about him, Have you always been like that?
Always. Always been like willing to like help out a hand to anyone that like needed it. Like whether I like knew him, like even if they were like my best mate or like I only knew him like a little bit, it's just like, oh, like say if someone wants to chat, I'm like, yeah, I'm down to chat. Like, what have you got? Like, I want to hear it. Like
chat about if they're having a rough time?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
And like, just offer up my advice.
Dude. And do people do that sometimes?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Do you ever feel like you need to chat?
Yeah, every now and then, but it's all good.
Who's your go-to?
Probably my mum.
Rad.
Probably
my
my mum.
mum's my go-to
Yeah.
still. You know, it's fun. Something I was talking about with a friend the other day. Like, I feel like I need my parents more now as an adult
Yeah.
than I did as a kid. It's really bizarre. It's like, hey, help me make this big adult decision.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. And they've got a lot of wisdom. Yeah, you start to appreciate them. Hey, listen, I want to ask you about, so you were on that Instagram page recently called Hall of Meat.
Yeah.
For people who've taken like heavy slams.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell the story quickly. There's that crazy like barricade into bank ollie that Rowan did.
Yeah.
And it's like, would you call it a bank or just like a wall that's pretty much vertical?
It's just crazy is what it is.
And rough as hell. And then it's a drop, right?
Yeah, big drop.
How big is that drop? Like 6 foot maybe?
It's like 6-7 foot.
So it's like you ollie a high barricade into a very steep bank, literally straight into a 6 foot drop.
Yeah.
So you tried to tail drop into
I just tried to tail drop it.
And what happened?
Fuck. I remember that day well. So this was during the time when we were filming for Memory Box. So I was like to my friend John, who filmed the whole video, I'm like, yeah, like I got this spot, like let's go do it. So we get there, obviously set up. I like just sort of bail a few like into the bank and like just run down. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for this one. Then the one I went for, it was just like, it's just like failing on like just a drop in on the 2 foot. You know how you don't lean forwards? Yeah. I didn't lean forwards and like just whipped out like as soon as the drop hits and just like take this fall straight to my tailbone. Like my legs are like almost above my head, like flinging around everywhere. Yeah, like window wipers and shit. And then just hit the concrete super hard on my bum.
And how did you get any crazy injuries or?
So when I did it, I'm like, John, I can't, like I went to full panic attack mode. I'm like, John, like I can't walk. Like I think I've like broken my back. And like, I'm just like on the ground, like dying. John and like this bystander was like trying to help me. And there's just this bus like coming up that street, like stop, like waiting to go, like while I'm just on the ground, like just suffering like the worst injury I've ever taken. But like went to the hospital, got like an x-ray and an MRI, like didn't break my pelvis or my tailbone, hopefully. Thankfully, I did break my hand because I was high on whatever they gave me, like, you know, the stuff they give you, like morphine. Morphine. I was like high on morphine.
Did they give you the green whistle thing?
Nah, no green whistle. I was high on the morphine and I'm just like, oh, you know, like my hand hurts a little bit too. Can you get it checked out? And like they checked it out and broke my hand and that's it. And like a lot of my friends are like nowadays, like this is like a year ago now, a lot of my friends still come up to me and they're like, how the hell did you take that fall and only break your hand?
Yeah, I know, right? Like I literally watched it and went, he's definitely broken his sacrum, like, you know, like lower back.
Yeah.
He's fractured something down there for sure. Because like you literally went like, it was probably higher than 6 foot, straight to your ass. Or ass and back, right?
Yeah. Ass and back.
But do you think it was from a lack of commitment?
Yeah, I reckon I was just like, I don't know, it was the transition was way whippier than I thought it was going to be. And paid the price for not knowing.
Wow, man. So impressive though that you went for it. Yeah.
And then like a few months later, like I look in Thrasher Mag and Rowan did the ollie over to
so
was
ride.
That
later?
That was like a few months after. This was like around the time like he was finishing up his girl part. And like Rem Thrasher one day and like saw the photo. I'm like, dude, that's so sick. So stoked, like someone like went and did it.
So it had been on the radar with everyone.
Like everyone knows about the spot.
Were you one of the first to step to it?
Yeah, I was one of the first to step to it. And didn't go so well.
Was that on your first attempt that happened?
No, that was the 7th. Like,
you'd already had 7 shots at that.
Yeah, but that was the first one I properly like went for. Like there were ones I'd like tail drop and then like just kick out like right before running down the bank.
Yeah, right.
And then the 7th try was the one I went for, and it was just an unlucky attempt, unlucky 7.
Yeah, unlucky 7. But being the first to step to something, it's always different.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, oh, is this possible? Can we do this?
You don't know if it's possible.
Has it been done? You know. Then you break down the doors for the next person. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude.
Open up the gates.
For sure, man. Hey, I want to quickly get back to something we were talking about at the very start. Like, we're talking about scooters and
Mm-hmm.
and I asked you, have you been like skating many Sydney skate parks recently?
Oh, like went to Five Dock last
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah. Went to Five Dock. Have you been to any of the sort of like the new mega parks? Like, I know you've probably been to Sydney Park. But
Been to Sydney Park.
but there's also some other like really good ones that have popped up.
Miranda's
like
about to drop.
Miranda Meadowbank,
Mm.
and and down further on the south coast there's Berry. I don't know if you heard about Berry.
I haven't been to Barry yet. I want to go to Barry.
Which is actually my hometown.
Yeah, sick.
And I just can't believe that exists in Berry now. But
Yeah.
anyway, but they're building like big kids playgrounds next to these things now. It's like this whole formula they've got. You know, like I want to hear your observations on that because like I'm noticing a distinct lack of skate etiquette at these parks.
Yeah.
Parents just thinking that the skate park area is like the playground area and just letting their kids run rampant on the scooters. And it's almost to the point where like the parents are aggressive, even the kids on scooters are aggressive. Like, I don't know, where are you at with it?
I don't know. I feel like I reckon they should build playgrounds like somewhere else, you know, instead of like being next to the skate park. Because like the kid, like say like a parent brings their kids to the playground. The kids are like, no, I don't want to play on the playground. Like I want to go like check out the skate park.
Yeah.
So that's where all the older kids are at.
Yeah.
So they go on like their dinky little scooters and like just snake everyone, which is like, you know, like to be fair, they're just kids and they don't know. But
Exactly.
like wait till they're older just so like they've developed a bit of etiquette. Yeah. And then you can sort of like get them in there and teach them how to skate.
Yeah, it's just a whole new wave, a new generation, I think, of education that needs to happen with parents.
Yeah.
Like, you know, parents need to be educated now because it's like, you know, skating's becoming progressively more accepted and almost teetering on mainstream in some ways.
Yeah.
You know, which I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, really.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I feel like core skaters need to be educating when they're at those parks, you know.
For sure.
In a productive and nice way.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I love skating that Glebe Park. It's one of my favourites.
I want to go there so
Haven't been
bad.
there?
I haven't been there yet.
It's real street.
Yeah.
It's just a really fun plaza.
Keen to cruise around.
There's no bowl there.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
What's your favourite bowl in Sydney area?
Probably Five Dock.
I was going to say it is Five Dock.
Love that place so
Not
much.
Bondi Bowl?
Bondi Bowl's cool. I do like Bondi Bowl.
Yeah.
Skated that the other week actually with like all the Monster crew. First time skating there in ages.
Were you in that demo? At that demo?
I was skating that demo. Like it wasn't really a demo. It was just more of like just a big session. It was like unannounced skate session at Bondi. But yeah, like a few of like the homies like Ryan Helm and stuff like skated as well with me. Like us dudes who don't like ride for Monster. It was really fun.
Was
like
it?
skate with Tom Shah and like GT and stuff, which was insane to watch skate. I've never seen GT skate.
And?
Loved it.
What about Tom Sharp?
Tom Shah, I've watched him skate.
Was
like,
he good live?
Oh, dude. He was doing like 10-foot fight, like full maxing out the bowl at Bondi.
Super powerful, hey?
Oh, dude. So crazy.
Yeah. Are you burnt out on skating Bar Beach Bowl?
No, I still like it, but I do it in phases. Like, I skate it. So say like there might be a week where I skate it like 4 days in a row, and I'm like, all right, a few days off.
Yeah.
Or like a week off or 2 weeks off, and then come back, go crazy with it. And then there might be phases where I just go like twice a week.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. I get it.
Just try to keep my skating like diverse, where I'm like just skating different places, because that's what keeps it fun.
Yeah.
It's like boring if you skate the same place every day, which I feel like is like a problem for like kids coming, like especially contests, like skaters, young contest skaters coming up, like need to skate everything, no matter if you're like trying to go to the Olympics for park.
Yeah, and you're not chasing contests.
Still am, like I'll still compete nationally, but as far as like Paris, like I'm not gonna continue on with the Paris campaign.
Just is it because you can't afford it, or do you feel like maybe you weren't gonna have a chance?
A bit of both, and like you know, it's just like I don't know. It's a very like I'm so thankful for Skateshop for giving me the opportunity to go and like give it a shot, you know, and be a part of their program. And like I'm still in contact with everyone there, like even to this day. But you know, it's like I don't know. I couldn't deal with like I put way too much pressure on myself, like going into that environment, especially in Dubai. So I was like, you know what, like might come back in a couple of years, maybe in a different role. But as an athlete wise, like I'm not chasing the Olympics anymore.
And you just weren't enjoying it, right?
Not so much I wasn't enjoying it because like being at those contests like was fun, getting to see everyone and stuff, meeting new friends and seeing old ones.
Yeah.
But like having to like skate with like Olympics in your mind and like that, I put that pressure on myself. Like that wasn't Skate Australia at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just put too much pressure on myself and I didn't know how to like not put pressure on myself.
Gotcha. Ah, that's interesting. You didn't know not how to put pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a tough one because you got high standards for yourself.
I do.
Right?
I've got super high standards for myself. I'm way too hard on myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Man, you're pretty switched on with that stuff for your age because I've always been really hard on myself too, but I didn't know I was hard on myself till I was like much older than you.
Yeah.
Like, is it like where have you come to this sort of level of consciousness? Like, do you think it's from just good conversations with your mum?
Just everyone being like, stop stressing out, man. Like, it's no big deal. Like, say, like, when I was younger, like, would do bad in a contest and I'd be heaps bummed. It's like, dude, chill out. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Or, like, there might be a contest where, like, I think I skated really bad and, like, you're still waiting for results and everyone's like, dude, like, shut up. Like, you skated amazing. And I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. And then, like, I end up getting, like, a good result.
Sick. Yeah, that's interesting that we do that to ourselves. But I think it's a double-edged sword as well. It's like that's what always propels you to progress and be the best you can. But yeah, it's like managing it is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are better at it than others. Like, I mean, Kieran's a really good example of how he can just maintain composure in those pressure situations.
For sure.
It's insane,
For sure.
eh? It blows me away. Do you think you'll skate Belco Bowl Jam again next year?
I'll be there next year. Can't wait.
Did you go last year?
Went to last year. Last year was amazing.
Yeah.
Took a pretty bad slam, like, at the end. Like, that's 2 years in a row I've been broken off. But, like, I'll keep going back for sure. It's always such a fun weekend with everyone.
Do you party?
Not so much nowadays. Like, every now and then I'll go out, like, with my friends that don't skate.
Yeah, okay.
Got a really good crew of, like, non-skater friends.
Have you?
Who are, like, really genuine people.
Like, you're not much of a drinker?
When I party pretty hard, but like, you know, like say like an average night might like go out and like just enjoy a beer or two.
Yeah.
But then like if it's someone's birthday or something, like I'll go crazy.
Not feeling it.
Especially like a skate premiere, like any skate premiere that's been in Newcastle, like the last 3, I've just been like way too drunk.
How good are skate premieres? Like, I feel like there needs to be more.
Just brings everyone together. It's like such a sick time.
You guys had one for Memory Box, yeah?
We had one for Memory Box
Where was
at
that at?
it was at Late Store at Civic Plaza. Like shout out to Adam and Laura and Butterdog. And that was like the sickest night. I was so nervous, but it was cool. I got this like a lot of people came up from Sydney because like everyone like Sam Saddleton was in the video. So a bunch of Sydney heads came up.
I noticed Ben Curry had a trick or two and Sam had a trick.
Yeah, a bunch of people, like a bunch of like our homies, like the Sydney like crew had clips in it. There was like a big montage section with like a bunch of Sydney and Newey heads that didn't necessarily have full parts in the video. But it was a really sick night. Parents came too. I was super stoked on that.
And they just set it all up in the shop and...
Yeah, so they set it all up just on like the regular TV that they have and everyone like sat on their laps and stuff. People like standing outside like trying to look in.
So good. Few beers.
Yeah, a couple beers, too many. It was my friend Kai was like one of my best friends, Kai Shimikaje, really good skater from Northern Beaches. He stayed at my house that night.
Yeah, right.
And like come to 1 a.m. he's like, dude, I gotta go. Like so we went back to my house. I'm like, all right, dude, like that's all good. Like just stay on the couch. And they get home at like 3 a.m. and like open up my bedroom and like he's just on my bed, crashed on my bed. I'm like, dude. So like I ended up taking the couch that night and I woke up. I'm like, brother, you stole my bed. But it's all good.
Do you think like making skate movies is like something you'd want to get into or just do once or twice?
Event like I definitely want to like film more parts like of myself skating.
What about the whole production side of things? That
I get into it for sure. Like later on down the track, I still want to like stay relevant in skating one way or another. Whether it's like I'm too old to like be relevant in the scene, like skating wise, like still like have some sort of like presence in it. Whether that's like filming or like or like, I don't know, like even like event managing, like just something.
Yeah, it's sick. You just love the vibe, eh?
Love it.
What do you notice about Newcastle compared to Sydney in terms of scene?
The scenes, everyone knows each other. Everyone's really good homies in the scene. Everyone skates together too.
And just gets along.
Everyone just gets along. Yeah, it's like there's not so much like different crews. So like a big city, say like Melbourne or Sydney, there's like all these different little crews. As with Newcastle, it's just like the one crew. Everyone skates together like pretty regularly. Everyone's good friends, and pretty much it.
Sick. No, that's so nice. Hey, did you go to SLS?
I didn't go to SLS. I couldn't get a ticket in time.
Okay. Yeah, it did sell out. It was a pretty sick event. But like going back to that whole like people landing on bolts and like just it got to the point where like everyone in that comp was so good.
Yeah.
I became numb to it after a while. It's like, oh, well, Tommy Flynn just like did a kickflip frontside nose grind on this huge obstacle, like there's this big boost obstacle. It was like, and it was like a gap to, ledge to big drop. And it's just like, that's an ender in most people's parts.
Yeah. And they're doing it like first try, like for their warm-ups for the contest.
Yeah, yeah. So I got a bit numb to it, but I don't know. It's still sick. But another thing I want to ask you about is Skater of the Year stuff. Any predictions?
Australia or Thrasher?
A Thrasher.
Thrasher mag this year.
Who are you feeling?
I don't know. I don't think we've seen everything yet.
I don't think we have either. I think there's going to be some parts.
I know Rob Pace and Kevin Backle are probably the two front runners right now. I've heard rumors that like a bunch of people have got like stuff ready to come out soon. And just like seeing like random little things on the gram. Like you see someone like post a photo, it's like, yeah, this dude's got a part coming out for sure.
Okay. Do you know Rob Pace?
I do know Rob. He's a good dude.
Because he lives in the Central Coast, right?
Yeah, Central Coast.
Insane.
He's psycho, man. He's the most insane skater.
Yeah. I think for me that was like, one of the most breakthrough parts I've seen this year.
Dude. And the premiere was insane as well.
Did you go to it?
Went to the premiere. The whole Monster Energy team were there too.
Okay.
Yeah. Kieran had like kitchen scissors. He's like, dude, I'm going to give you a bowl cut. Like this was a few weeks ago when I had like a massive bob of hair. He like backed me into a corner. He's like, yeah, we're going to cut your hair. We're going to give you a bowl cut. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, fuck off. And he's like, nah, we are. And then like a shot and like all these dudes like had their phones out filming it. I'm like, all right, Kieran, do it. Go. Make it quick.
Is that why you've got a shaved head now?
Yeah. He cuts my hair like, it's like a full emo fringe where it's like diagonal. I'm like, bro, this is fucked. So like the whole weekend, like skating in Sydney, I had like this insane like sideways like bowl cut mullet type thing.
Yeah, right.
Because of Kieran, yeah.
So good.
Shout out Kieran, he's the best.
He is the best. And his family's the best. I know his mum and dad as well.
Mm-hmm.
I actually used to work with his mum.
True.
She's lovely, Heather.
She's a high school teacher too, right?
Yeah. Just good people,
Really good people.
I mean, Mark, again, like I think he has those, he was like quite an established athlete himself when he was younger.
Dude, that family has talent like written all over him.
Dan, my God. Because Dan he got into the qualifiers for SLS, right?
He did.
Got to try out.
He did. I watched him skate. Like I was sitting like at the you're talking about the Street League qualifiers?
Street League qualifiers, sorry.
Yeah, I was at Bar Beach like watching the live stream on my phone, watching him skate. He skated all right.
Yeah.
He didn't make the final, but like, really good like effort for his first SLS.
Yeah, totally. That environment. And I mean, they really don't get to skate the course much. Like how long did he get to warm up on that course?
I'm not sure. I only watched like the actual heat on my phone.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get to be there, unfortunately. But I'm not too sure. I don't think it would have been that much time.
Yeah, that's it.
He might have had a practice day before or 2 practice days.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I mean, I seen him skating at Berry just, I think, a couple of days before, just, practicing. And it's like, but there's no, like, big rails there. No. It's like, it's just all small ledges.
But he can get so tech, though. Like, he's so he's such a technical ledge skater and rail skater, too.
Yeah.
Like, he's 270 lip slide, 270 out. I'm like, how the hell do you do that?
And consistent.
Yeah.
Like, he really does fit the mold of an SLS skater.
For sure.
But also his style is like kind of like this real solid, relaxed style, and actually reminds me a little bit of Tom Penny.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I do see
In
that.
terms of just like how clean and relaxed he does things. So anyway, I don't know. Keep an eye on that one.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it's just so competitive. I mean, like, it sounds to me like you've changed your mentality a little bit in terms of like trying to make it in skateboarding. Is that correct?
Kind of like, obviously I want to see how far I can go with it.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it's like, I just want to skate and have fun and like just, you know, do my thing. Like obviously still want to like film parts and compete nationally.
Yeah.
And say if there is like a fun overseas contest that like doesn't involve like Olympic or like it doesn't have like any like competitiveness or like competitive nature about it, like I'll go over there and like compete, but for fun.
Yeah, gotcha.
But you know, like just I don't know, have fun, skate, build on my other shit as well.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Dude, you got all bases covered.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. And like you said, you grew up in one of the outer suburbs of Newcastle.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I've been curious about. Like there was obviously no skate parks out there.
There was one prefab one.
Yeah. But you got good at skating the bowl. So, you know, how far was the trip from where you lived to the bowl?
So
how'd you pull that off?
So my sister's like 3 or 4 years older than me. And she got a job. So when I was 13, like really like starting to get into skating at the bowl, my sister got a job at the local surf shop right near there, Sandbar.
Oh yeah.
So whenever she'd go into work on like Saturdays and Sundays, I'd always just jump in with her, get a lift in there, and then when she finished, she'd come pick me up, and then we'd go home.
Right.
And then when I was old enough, when I was like 15, started getting the train in after school because my high school backed onto a train station that just took me straight into town.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was only like if you get express, like it's like a 10-minute, 15-minute train ride because the train just flies through.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's dedication though.
It's dedication.
Yeah.
Like definitely like the trip was definitely like half of like the skate session, I feel like. Because you got to skate from the train station all the way through town to get to Bar Beach. And like the first time I ever did that trip, it took me like 40 minutes to skate.
Right.
And then like right before I got my actual license, the last times I took the train, it took like 8 minutes. I just like darted through Newcastle.
Nice. Man. No, I want to actually. Sorry, there's another question I forgot to ask you. I'm a bit vague today. I probably didn't have enough sleep last night. But my question was like, I want to like you said you left school in year 10, and I'm just really curious, like, what sort of student were you though? Like in your younger years, like were you a committed student?
Talk the piss. Talk the absolute piss.
Just too much energy.
Too much energy. Couldn't stay inside. Was just disruptive in class.
So you weren't like that student getting good grades?
No, I was not like in high school. Was not academic at all.
And the thing is, like, I'm really big on and promoting these messages because I think a lot of young people leave their schooling life thinking they're dumb because they didn't get good results.
Yeah.
But I just like think you're a really good example of someone that was like, no, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But now you're at uni.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going at uni? Are you passing your subjects?
Not trying to like, obviously trying to stay humble, but like this semester I didn't get it like an assessment task result lower than like a distinction. So I was like,
dude,
really worked for it.
See? So you're not dumb.
No.
It turns out you're not dumb.
Yeah, it turns out.
But I also think too, like, you know what it means to commit and work hard and be dedicated. And all that. So, yeah, man. I don't know. What else? Like, you feel like you've got it all out of your system? Is there anything else you want to share with the world?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I feel like, you know, you're just really well-rounded human.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like,
thank you.
I think a lot of skaters tend to go all in on the dream.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you're sort of all in on the dream, but you got a balance going.
All in on the dream, but like I've got other stuff I'm working on too.
Yeah.
Like obviously working on my degree, trying to like just work different jobs to get some money just so I have money to spend. Like if I can cover all three things at the same time, it's like that's the life I want, you know?
Yeah. And you're still living at home.
Still living at home.
Dude.
Like always give dad shit. He always gives shit back to me. Like, we just banter like crazy. It's fun living with him.
Do they ever say like, "Why don't you leave home and get your own place?" Like you're
I was gonna move out this year, but they're like, Mum's like, "Why the hell are you moving out? Like, it's so expensive to move out nowadays. Like, just stay here. Like, we want you around because like obviously my sister moved out. My sisters all moved out now. They're like, you're only 21. Like, just stay and kick it."
They're like that.
Yeah.
It's so different. My mum was like, "You need to get out. I can't afford to have you here anymore."
But then my dad's like, because eventually like I am thinking about like obviously moving out like in the near future, probably like just get a house with try get a house with like a bunch of random homies. Dad's like, dude, if you move out, I know for a fact you'll be back at my house every day for dinner and you'll be bringing laundry over because I used to do that too when I moved out. I'm like, yeah, true.
Yeah. No, for sure you will be. God, that stuff sucks. I hate doing that shit. I still hate it. Yeah. Well, listen, man, it's been epic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Dude, thanks for hanging, and it was so fun skating today. Like, so if you're listening, I'm just going to put a little clip out of just a couple of lines that Marley did at Bar Beach Bowl where he basically wallied over me. Like, he looks so crazy. Like, but you want to give some shout outs to anyone?
Just want to thank, like, obviously my parents, my family, just all my friends, everyone in Newcastle skating, like Adam and Laura, like all the boys at Skate Civic and Bar Beach. Shout out to Wade Austin Aaron from Atomic Disc to do Creature and Indie and like Dickies and stuff. Shout out to Bo Mitchell and everyone at Skate Australia, just all those dudes for just help me out, especially when I was doing the Olympic stuff.
So, like, Skate Australia will actually, like, help you with things like accommodation and travel?
Yeah, for Olympic camps, but, like, I don't know, I guess they just, like, the businesses themselves couldn't really afford to, like, fund everyone.
So
like,
they were helping to subsidise those things?
Yeah, like, they gave us a bit of money.
Where do they get the money from?
The government, like, they give them a budget.
So the government is actually allocating X amount of funds to it. They are.
Yeah. But, you know, like, mass, like, they still did, like, what they could for me, and, you know, I'm just grateful for that. Shout out Zane and Ryan from Next Door in Sydney. Absolute legends. Little clothing brand they got going. And that's about it.
Sick, man. And where can people find you if they want to catch up with you?
Always at Charlestown or Bar Beach Skate Park. I'm always around, like, pretty easy to find.
Instagram?
Yeah. Oh, Instagram's just Marley Rae.
Hall of Meat?
Yeah, I'm on Hall of Meat too. I'm on there somewhere.
Dude, I can't, because like I seen it was on Hall of Meat, and I've actually never gone to the profile page of Hall of Meat, and I went there, and that page has got like 2 million followers.
I can't watch. I don't follow it. I can't watch it. Like, imagine like waking up, getting ready to go skate, or like, especially if you're going out on a day where you're skating like big spots and just waking up and seeing some dude like just scorpion like down a rail or something. It's like, who the hell wants to look at that like before they go skating a big spot?
Sickos do. Sick people want to see that shit. I can't look at it. I mean, I can't see footage of broken bones anymore.
I hate it.
I just can't
hate it so much, dude.
But I was just like, that page is huge, and like your clip must have had so many like views.
Yeah, 200,000 views and 6 followers. Like, what's up with that?
That's bizarre. Is that all it generated for you? Like, were you tagged in it?
I was tagged, but like, I mean, like, I don't really like care about the followers or anything at all like that. But I was just like, I don't know, I just see the view count. It's just like, oh, like people like, you know, like, oh, what's this dude about? And then just 6 followers. But
What were you actually expecting more?
I mean,
after like that amount of views,
not really. Like, never really like been the type to chase like all the followers, you know.
It's such
especially
bullshit.
like when I'm older,
Bullshit.
like clout chasing and stuff. It's like obviously you want to get your name out there, but if you're like just like, oh yeah, like use these hashtags and like get more views and follows.
Like you don't feel like any expectation to utilize that to propel your career.
Not really. As long as like you post a clip and like you're staying relevant, like you're out skating and you're pushing yourself, like that's all it, in my opinion, should really matter.
What about like just like filming actual video
Oh,
parts
and
of videos?
and filming video parts and stuff as well.
like you
just,
value that way more, obviously.
in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a bit of everything. Like even if you are a trainee skater, like a little bit of competing's good for you too. You know.
Yeah. Like, do you have friends or crew your age that are really like dedicated to the social media thing and building that?
Yeah, I do.
But you're not that dedicated to building it.
I'm like, I mean, just like
Every now and then, put a clip up.
every now and then put a clip up. Like obviously, like yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's such a weird one
Because
because
you're born into it.
yeah, I'm born like like most people like know me through like my Instagram skating.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, like every kid is like, yeah, post a clip and like tag all these people. But then as you get older and like when you start to look at like the bigger picture or whatever, it's like it's not just like Instagram's like I don't know, Instagram's a really good tool, but it's like you need to be like doing a bit of everything, I feel like.
Dude, I just find it really interesting to hear it from someone in your generation.
Yeah.
Because like that's how I feel about it too. I'm just like it's not substantial. I don't think it would sustain anyone. You know, but people get so wrapped up in it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to put out things with more substance.
Yeah. And you want to put out things like obviously like a video part is going to go way further than like just a really like crazy Instagram edit.
Yeah, but what I find interesting, like, so for example, like you and your friends made this epic, you know, skate movie, and but that's never going to get 200,000 views.
No.
You know, and it's like, but I guess it's not. It's about quality, not quantity. Like
Exactly.
people are actually going to remember that. They're not
Yeah.
going to scroll past it. Like I hate to say it, your Holler Meat Slam.
Yeah.
People that follow that page, they're going to forget about you the next time that's
Pretty much the next clip that comes out, it's just like, oh, Marley, like, who's that?
Who's that guy? Yeah.
Oh, what, he fell down that thing? That's cool. I saw that yesterday.
That was like a year ago. How come they just came out now?
So that was in my memory box part, like that clip. And I don't know, it only came out on memory box, only came out on Hall of Me's because the other day, like, I was just really bored at home one night and I was just like, I just emailed the clip. I'm like, fuck, that'd be funny if it got on Hall of Me. So I just sent it off.
Okay, yeah.
Like, no caption or anything. It's just like, it's just the clip that's sent to the Hall of Meat email. And I just got this email back like, yeah, like, that's sick. Like, who filmed it? And just didn't reply because it was yesterday. And then, like, completely forgot about it for a few days. And then, like, I was at work yesterday and I get this, like, little ding on my phone and it's like, bang, it's on there.
So crazy.
On, like, fish tank quality as well. Because, like,
I noticed why. Did you just film your laptop screen or something?
Just screen record it and sent it off. Because I didn't have the actual clip. I didn't have, like, the raw file. I just, like, screen recorded off the memory box, like, thing on YouTube.
That's so funny. Hey, do you like working in retail?
Love it.
Do you?
Love it.
Dude, you're so interesting. You're real positive about everything. I love it. Like, why do you love it?
I don't know. It's just fun. Like, you get to talk to people. You get some rude customers sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I had one today, and I was just like, yeah, that's, like, not going to get my day down. But, you know, it happens.
Do you have, like, a morning routine to start your day, Marley?
Last few weeks, I've been trying to.
You do?
Yeah. So,
What do you do?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go down the Hunter Academy of Sport. Like, shout out to them. I was able to get a scholarship, like, through Skate Australia, actually.
Dude.
It's like, that's one of the reasons why I, like, thank them so much, because, like, they're the best. And, yeah, Tuesday, like, 2-3 sessions a week at for strength and conditioning training, which is something I've really been trying to work on, like, the last few months, just because, like, I am getting older.
Actually do that.
Yeah, and, like, need to, like, start, like, looking after my body a little bit, like, just maintaining it.
Dude, you're so different to me when I was 21.
Yeah.
I thought it was never going to end.
Yeah.
I thought I'm just like my body will be okay forever. That's how I used to think, and I just hurt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, before, like, I've only done it for, like, 2 weeks, and I'm already seeing, like, a massive difference. Like, like, when I go out and have, like, a hard skate session, I'll actually skate for longer now.
Like, do you think you're having better skates?
Having better skates, for sure.
Yeah.
And not getting tired as quickly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're actually like doing things like lifting weights.
Lifting
or
weights.
strength
It's
stuff?
just more like, it's more for, like, leg and ankle strength. Because my ankles, like, my right ankle's been giving me struggles or giving me trouble since like the most recent Belco Bowl Jam when I had like this big slam or whatever, like as I mentioned before.
What'd you do?
I did like an invert revert in the bowl and like hot pocketed my ankle, but I think I like broke it as well. But did nothing about it. Just partied like that same night on like a bung ankle. I remember sitting outside the pub, just like ankle purple.
Same thing.
Ben Saddleton was next to me. We're both just like weathered, like just contemplating like our whole existence. Like, bro, this is fucked.
Bro, it's exactly what I did. I rolled my ankle and got a hairline fracture in one of the bones. But then it's like, it's just an ankle roll, fuck it. Went out, did what I did, partied, drunk heaps of piss, whatever. And it just wouldn't heal. Like, you know, like 3 months later, I'm like, oh my God, it's still the same.
Yeah.
And anyway, synovial fluid leaked into the fracture crack.
Oh my God.
And in the bone, it turned into what they call an osteochondral lesion. Had a lesion in the bone. What do you know? Got to have surgery to grind that shit. And they had to like bleed the bone and grind all that shit out. It was insane, dude. So take care of those injuries, man.
For sure.
And then it turned into 2 surgeries. I had to get a second surgery.
Oh my God,
man.
dude.
Yeah, it was like, and then, like really, like my ankle's never been the same since. But it could have been preventable if I had have just like got an X-ray and went through all the bullshit. But you live and you learn.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you had any other major injuries?
Yeah, but like I try like just, you know, block all that out and just focus on like the good stuff, you know. Like I've had like hate to be like a positive Percy like all the time, but you know, it's like
I hate to be a positive person.
But like, you know, it's I don't know, try not to think about it, just think about like not being hurt and like being out to go skate, like being able to go out and go skating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a couple like pretty crazy injuries.
Yeah.
Few ongoing ones, like even nowadays, but it's like that's what this strength and conditioning stuff will hopefully help with. Like just getting my body stronger.
Yeah.
And a little more resilient.
Yeah. Have you heard of that guy Dan from Skate Strength?
He's the best.
Shout out. He's been on I've heard him on the podcast.
Shout out Dan, man. So I tore my groin like really bad last year. And I reached out to him like, hey dude, like you got any like groin like treatment exercises, like having troubles with my groins. And he just sent me this full program. I was like, oh my God, dude. Like
so nice, eh?
And then saw him like a few weeks later at Sam Fairweather's like independent trucks part, like that premiere. And he was like, just giving me a rundown on like what to do. And I'm just like, man, you are the best.
Dude, he really is, man. Like I love his vibe and what he's doing. And yeah, like he's just, he's picked it perfectly.
Yeah.
But just generous and really cares.
Yeah, such a good dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he sent me an ankle rehab program for free. I was like, that's so nice. Like,
And I see footage of like Justin Schmidt and like Sam Fairweather and like all the Saladin brothers in there all the time doing workouts and stuff. And like he's doing a lot for Sydney skateboarding and just like Australian skateboarding in general.
I think so. But also, you know, like he realized that, you know, when you do these things, skating just becomes way more fun.
For sure.
Like it's just more fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I really warm up now before a skate. Like, I didn't really warm up today, but I do. I'll skip. I'll do like these little ankle exercises and like little, and it's just and I'll get on the roller before I skate and just get all the nerves firing. Yeah, and then you start your skate better and you have more fun. Like fundamentally, that's what it comes down to.
For sure.
Fundamentally, yeah, man. No, it's good. So good, Marley. Well, anyway, brother, we're gonna leave it there.
Thank you for having me, man. You're a legend.
You're a legend.